you guys spent the entire offseason and training camp planning to have these guys together, and I know injuries happen, but it's got to be a little disappointing that you had such a short look-see at what you wanted to have.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, above anything right now, I feel for Jonah, just that it's kind of uncertain as to how long he's going to be out or whatever. But the mentality that you have to take as a football team and as an offensive line and as a coach is, and it sounds like coach speak, is just next man's up. And there's a reason that the guys that are here, and they're all going to have to play at some point. And that's why you got to try to develop the entire room, and you got to try to put guys in positions where they can develop and be successful. And it's a little bit different for a guy like Beach because he's not early in his career where he's trying to develop. What you're trying to do with him is, maintain and lean on his experience.
It's not the first time he's ever had to step in, but how much different is it stepping into a game cold versus having an entire week to take reps?
I think it's different for sure. I think that knowing that you're going to play the entire game before the game starts is definitely a different mentality. Having said that, he's the pro's pro, and he's the guy that is going to be able to go in there cold and do some good things. And he was definitely able to do that last week, and I know he's going to be able to do this week as well.
Are you guys in any tough spot? Just with Christian's already out, now you lost another tackle. Like, do you feel comfortable with what you have? I mean, you're going deeper and deeper into the bodies that you have at tackle specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly trust the guys that we're putting in that position. You hate to have guys out, but I think when you guys said it earlier, it's the NFL, and that's going to happen. And so there's a reason that the people that you have in your 53 are there, and there's a reason that the players that you have on their P squad are there as well. And it's not just because they practice; it's because at some point they may have to play, and so you have to be able to trust those guys and know that they know what to do and how to do it.
Do you also call Beach Grandpa?
No, I have too much respect for him to call him Grandpa. I'm older than he is, so
What does he need to focus on this week? What does he need to do better than he did when he came into that game last week?
I just think be himself and play confidently and do the things that he's been doing great for 13 years.
Clayton, twice you had to do it last year. Prepare for Aaron Donald. You don't have to do it this year. What do you see from this Rams defensive line?
I mean, they're still really good. There's a lot of good young players in that group and good veteran players as well. And they still, there's no such thing as losing a great player and it being the same. But having said that, one of the things that made them tough last year is the guys that were around him were also very good, and those guys are still there, and they're all a year better.
When you look at last week with how good everything was in the first half and then the second half, not so much. Been able to pinpoint any of that? And I know it's a team thing, but you able to hone in on anything in the second half?
Probably just staying locked in, staying focused, being consistent, not really ever being affected by the outcome of a play. I think is something that we talk about a bunch on the offensive line, and whether that's positive or it's negative, is the next play is going to be our best play, and it doesn't matter what the one before it looked like.
Is that one of the things that can happen sometimes? A guy can, play a really good game, but all of a sudden there's those one or two plays, and everyone jumps and says, "Oh my gosh, it wasn't as good as maybe it really was behind the scenes."
Yeah, I don't know that I saw that from our guys. I think that that's probably the nature of human beings is to carry on whatever happened the play before with you, and so people call that positive momentum, or they call it negative momentum. And what you're trying to develop in a football team is you're trying to develop like blinders of this is what needs to be executed regardless of what happened the play before. You're probably fighting against human nature a little bit that way, but that's what we're preaching.
Can you take us through the process a little bit of the decision to switch Paris back to left tackle and that rock solid performance last week against the Bills?
I just think it was kind of a natural move throughout the offseason and something that he was comfortable with, and also bringing in Jonah, he was comfortable in the position that we were going to have him in, so it was just something that felt natural. I don't know that in the NFL, in my opinion, you look at the guy who plays left tackle as being a lot different than the guy who plays right tackle, because in this day and age, if their best rusher is on our left and he doesn't want to go against your left tackle, all he's going to do is walk over to the other side. So what we used to call the left tackle in the older days in the NFL, I think what you're saying now is really you want two of those guys. You want two guys that are good in pass protection, two guys that can protect the quarterback because if the quarterback is throwing the football to the left, he's not going to be able to see what's happening to his right.